Good morning slash good evening slash good day, everyone. Welcome to meeting number 530 of Blue Quest. This is our last meeting in the current billing cycle from September to March, from October to March. You are now inside the code of conduct of a Toastmasters meeting. Please be advised that the meeting is being recorded and it may not be possible to pause the recording, but just let us know. We'll try to do our best. I will now start with the mission statement of a Toastmasters Club. Common across all Toastmasters clubs across the world, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. A few rules related to the meeting. Audience, please be advised that any behavior that disturbs the flow of the meeting can and will result in removal from the meeting without any warning. Please ensure that your noise making devices are either switched off or on silent mode when you come on stage. We do not want to listen to an iPhone ringing in the background, just so to show that you have an iPhone. Please speak responsibly around topics involving religion, sex, and politics in your speeches. And as far as possible, please keep your videos on, audios off, and applause flowing throughout. In short, be the kind of audience that you would want others to be for you. Role players, to the Toastmaster, the Table Topics Master, and General Evaluator, I would request you to do a smart audio video check before you hand over to the respective role players. Role players, please rename yourself as role player, your name hyphen your club. You may omit the club name if you are a member of Blue Quest. Please acquaint yourself with the role of the timer. I don't think the timer is here. We will check with the timer as to how she will show the timing cards, whether she's sharing the screen or whether she will do a background change. However, she'll be using one of the three cards at a time. Green will mean that you've reached the minimum qualifying time. Yellow means that it's a good time to start concluding. And red means that you've got 30 seconds or you will be disqualified. Individual session timings will be explained in due time. We encourage you to use the Zoom emoticons to encourage the role players. For example, I'm playing a role, you can use applause and a heart if you want. It's totally your call. We sincerely request you not to send chat messages to everyone or the speaker on stage. In fact, refrain from chatting altogether, focus on the speaker. If you want to send a chat message, just send it on a one-to-one basis. Chat is open for everyone. Reiterating, please stay on mute until specifically requested to unmute. Polls will be launched after each section and they will be closed after 30 seconds. Now, I would like to introduce the presiding officer. We have a new presiding officer. Well, not a new presiding officer. He's been around the Toastmasters scene for a very long time. I want to share a small story about him. In 2018, when I was participating in the district speech contest, I broke my leg, and he's the person who motivated me to go on stage. He gave me a very cryptic reason for that. He said that the contest happened on the 13th, and maybe our room number was 13, and the fact that he is born on November the 13th. See, I remember so much now. Please welcome with a huge round of applause the Gandalf of District 41, or as many would say, the Yoda of District 41, distinguished Toastmaster Shaurendra Bhaume.
Thank you, and good morning, good evening, good day to all of you. Don't believe half of what Rupinder says. He is a champion, and there is nothing that can deter him from being a champion. And that brings me to the first point, which I would like to mention before I invite all the guests. This is, as Rupinder said, the last meeting in the old cycle, and from next day, that is from tomorrow, we get into the new membership cycle. So whoever has not yet renewed their membership, I request them to get in touch with me as I'm the treasurer of the club and I will be able to help you out. The second is Rupinder himself. He's all set to now represent the club at the contests at the highest level of the district. And we are looking forward to hearing his speeches so that we can help him and then go ahead and then see him as another winner and repeating the work that he had done in 2018. Now, may I request Toastmaster Anna Wissel, all the way from Texas, USA, to please introduce herself. Anna, over to you, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It is such a pleasure to be here. Your morning, my evening. I am from Texas and was invited by Rupinder to show up tonight. And it is my pleasure to be here and see how things are done on your side of the world.
Thank you so much, Anna, and we keep looking forward to seeing you with us in future. I have another guest here, Toastmaster Kshitij Sahai. Kshitij, can you please introduce yourself?
A very good morning to all of you and good evening. This is Chikit Sahai from Patna Toastmaster Club, and I am here to enjoy and have a very good time. Thank you.
Thank you. Very soon in Patna, you will see me attending one of your clubs.
Most welcome, sir.
That's my hometown. So, and then we go to Toastmaster Gunjan. Toastmaster Gunjan, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes. Hi. Good morning, everybody. My name is Gunjan Sharma and I'm a chartered accountant. I've been always wanted to join a Toastmaster club and finally I am in the meeting. So looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Gunjan. And then we have our good old friend Jim here. Hi, Jim. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Oops. Yeah, from down under Australia. So we're a different time zone yet again.
Great. Thank you so much, Jim, for being here. Then I have my good friend Aditya Gupta. Aditya, welcome, and let's hear your introduction.
Good morning and good evening, everybody. This is my second time as a guest at BlueQuest. It's a pleasure to be here. Looking forward to a fruitful discussion.
Thank you very much. And my good friend Naveen, all the way from Singapore. Naveen, welcome.
Yeah, good morning, friends. And well, it's a pleasure to meet you all after some time. I look forward for the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, and hoping that we'll have a great time today. All set. And now, can I hand over the stage to our president of the club and the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Kapil Kakkar. Kapil, take it away from here.
Thank you, Chirendra. Good morning, everybody. I welcome you all in our meeting number 530, and it is my pleasure to serve as your Toastmaster of the day. Hope you all had a safe celebration of Holi. Why do we celebrate Holi? As per Narad Puran, Holi is celebrated as a victory of Prahlad over his father Hiranyakashipu, who was a demon king, and his aunt Holika. Holika tried to burn Prahlad alive, but instead she got herself burned. Holi is a festival of love and colors. It celebrates the divine love of Radha and Krishna. Incidentally, color is the theme of our meeting today. And colors do affect us. I recall 15 years ago when I was buying my first car. I planned to buy that car on my birthday, and I had a particular color in my mind. I wanted to buy that particular color on my birthday. But when I went to the dealer said that unfortunately, we don't have this color in our stock and you will only get it after 2 weeks. Else you can choose some other color. I actually went for the later option. Because I wanted to have a car on my birthday, so I settled for some other color. But I regretted this for quite some time because that was not my preferred color. So color do affect us. While we cannot play Holi virtually, but certainly I can play a small game of color. So Elisa, could I invite you to play a game with me? You need to answer few questions and then probably we will determine the color that goes with your personality. Are you game for it?
Sure, sounds good.
Okay. Let me share my screen then. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I see it.
All right, so enter your name. All right.
Spelling is incorrect, Kapil.
Oh, sorry. All right, so you need to answer 10 questions, short questions. What is the most attractive of the following? Fire, water, earth, light?
Wow, okay. Fire.
Fire. All right. What is the worst thing?
Boredom.
Boredom. What is your favorite vacation?
Visit new places.
When you need to be happy, what do you do?
Doing something.
If you see someone being beaten, what should you do?
Stand with the one who's being beaten. Try to protect them.
Which of the following words do you like the most?
Good heart.
What do you want to do in this life?
Inspire others.
What bothers you most?
Let's go with exploited person.
What is the favorite character?
None of the above.
What do you prefer to wear?
Light and quiet.
Which one?
Yeah.
Light and
Light.
quiet. Now let's see what is the color. Okay, so your color is green. I think this is green is the color of nature, so it represents widerness, fun, and freedom. So next week probably you would want to give a speech on green room, Alisa.
That's a good one. Thank you, Kapil.
All right.
Do you agree with that color of yours?
Yeah.
What did you say, Surinder?
So
Do
Surendra is
you agree with green as one of your favorite colors?
Actually, right now, my favorite color is behind me, but
Yeah.
nature's good, so green is good.
okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So it's now time for me to introduce you with the format of the meeting. In typical Toastmasters meeting, we have 3 sections. First section is prepared speeches, wherein prepared speakers will come on stage and give a speech for around 5 to 7 minutes. Second section is all about table topics, wherein volunteers, preferably the guests, are invited to come on stage and speak for 1 to 2 minutes. This particular section is headed by table topic masters. And third section, which is evaluation section, this is being headed by Shorendra sir today. And under this section, or rather I would hand over the mic to Surendra sir to explain about this role.
Thank you.
Surendra sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. TMOD. Today, as the evaluator, it will be my responsibility to help with the general evaluation of the entire meeting, along with getting the various evaluators to evaluate the 3 speeches that will be done today. I will also be assisted besides the 3 evaluators, of which one is yet to come, that is Shipriya. So I would request someone to take on that role if it is convenient. May I?
Shipriya is on her way, sir.
Okay, she's on the way. That's right. And then we have, I have the timer, our counter, and the grammarian to assist me for the speech and running this meeting. Again, our timer of the day is Hatrika, who was supposed to come, but I believe
Avjinder
is taking on that role. So, Avjinder, can you please give us your view of how you would be doing the timing and show us the various cards?
Sure, Surendra sir. So I'll be the timer of the day, and my job is to time the speeches, the table topics, and give my report in the 3rd section, which is the after the evaluations. So the timing for table topics is 2 minutes. So I'll give my I'll show my cards like this at 1:30 minute. Sorry,
1 minute.
1 minute. The yellow card at 1:30, and this red card when the timing is over. Similarly, I'll show up these cards for the speech sections also, which is 5, 6, and 7 minutes. And I'll give my report once called by the general evaluator. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. May I now call on Toastmaster Sumit Juneja to give us his view on how he would be evaluating people as an counter.
Good morning, everyone. As an counter, the purpose is to note down words that are used as crutch words and pause fillers. During the meeting, I will listen to those words, including something like and, well, but, so, these are filler sounds. I'll also note down when speaker repeats some word like I multiple times maybe, and then you know, something like that. And the end of the meeting, I will report this number of words being used by each speaker, and I will present my reports when called upon by general evaluator. Over to you, Sharan sir.
Thank you, Sumit. Now, all the way from Puerto Rico, we have Toastmaster Elisa Schneider as the grammarian of the day. Elisa, over to you.
Thank you, Surinder. As the grammarian of today, I would like to, first of all, draw your attention to this word here. This is our word of the day. It is pronounced cerulean. Cerulean is a range of colors from teal blue, sky blue, bright blue, or azure to deep cyan. It comes from the Latin word ceruleum, which means sky or heavens. And if you go to buy this in the store, it is a very expensive pigment. So please do use the color cerulean in all of your communications today. As the grammarian, I will also be on the lookout for a good use of grammar, as well as any mistakes we might incorporate. That means that I will be listening for metaphors. For instance, John is a goat. This is a metaphor. Similes, example, when dissolving like soap in water, and something called personification. So I will be noting all these things down and giving my report at the end. Again, cerulean word of the day. Thank you very much, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Elisa. And now, just before I hand over the stage to our Toastmaster of the day, we will all get back to you in the evaluation section at the 3rd section of this meeting today. And till then, enjoy the meeting and have fun. Over to you, Kapil.
Thank you, Surendra. It's now time to begin our first section, our prepared speeches. Our first speaker today is Sheila, who comes from United States, and her favorite colors are lime green and hot pink. But before I invite our first speaker, Sheila, I would like to invite her evaluator, Aditya Gupta. Aditya, he was terrific last week, and I'm willing to learn few ropes of the trade through his evaluation today. Aditya, if you could state Sheila's objective.
Sure. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The second purpose of the speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. The speaker will be presenting evaluation and feedback module. The length of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Wishing the speaker a very best for the speech. Looking forward to the speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. Sheila, devastating, beautiful. Sheila, stage is all yours, Sheila.
I just want to do a visible and audible check.
Yeah.
The two shall become one, March 12, 2007. 2 days before, my husband had proposed to me and I had excitedly accepted. We'd only known each other less than a month. For some, they would say that is not enough time. For others, they would say you could know somebody 2 years and it still wouldn't be enough time. We had prayed and we had spent time together. We knew it was the right decision. As we were first married, just like all new couples, we had so many amazing, but then there were also days that were really tough. Being immature and not always knowing the right things to do, I would sometimes get angry. My husband is very even-tempered, doesn't get angry very often. And in fact, it would sometimes really make me angry that he wasn't angry about something. Unfortunately, I didn't always handle these fights or arguments the way I should have. And unfortunately, and I'm ashamed to say that to this day, I look back and there are so many things I could have done differently. Fast forward about 4 years, almost to the day of when we were married. Unfortunately, things had been not going well, and I was at a boiling point. It was the latest thing I was mad at my husband about, and I was screaming at him, showing my displeasure. I remember screaming at him, slapping his feet. I threw his cell phone towards him. It bounced on the bed, grazed his head, and hit the wall. To say that things got worse would be an understatement. I ended up filing for divorce, and my husband had me arrested for being violent. Devastating was the word I would use for these circumstances. Scared and feeling alone, as I spoke with the police officer who helped me, she convinced me or persuaded me that I should file a restraining order and also file charges against my husband for other things that had happened. That is what I did. And if you had told me that things were going to go from bad to way worse, that truly would have been the understatement of the year, perhaps of the decade. The restraining order was issued. He was arrested. He ended up going back to Canada. I stayed here. Truly, I went through a time that I had not ever been through up until that point. My heart was literally broken. As I processed all that was happening, I began to understand when people say your heart physically hurts over pain, I literally began to feel and to understand what that meant. How had this happened? How did we get to this point? What could I do to fix it? In a word, there wasn't anything I could do to fix it. Things were in the court system. at this point virtually unstoppable. Things went agonizingly slow. Wasn't eating well, wasn't sleeping well, wasn't very motivated. Seeking solace, I went to Facebook, posted different things, hoping that somehow there would be comfort to be had. No comfort was to be had. The words fell far short of what I needed in order to feel comforted. I was beside myself in pain, and there just seemed to be no end in sight. Devastating. As a last resort, I began crying out to the Lord for help. I cried out to the one who had created me, who comforts, who gives hope. I found myself flat on the floor, crying out in heart-wrenching anguish for help. Sometimes the prayers were long, but more often they were very short. Crying out, Lord, please, please take this pain away from me. Please take the hurt. Please just make it better, please. In Jesus' name I pray, please just make it better. I remembered there was a book I had been given by my mom several years before, The Blessings of Brokenness by Charles Stanley. I began to devour that book. As I devoured it, as I read it, the premise was we go through blessings, we go through brokenness so that the Lord can take away those things that distract us, that are not good for us, those things that he wants to strip away from us so we can be what he intended us to be, what he needs us to be. I wasn't completely convinced, as the author explained, there are definitely blessings that come from brokenness. That didn't seem right. I couldn't believe that that was the case. But I continued to read, I continued to pray, and I did continue to grow as I continued walking with the Lord. Through that time, I thought, I'm this broken vessel. I can never be put back together. I am so shattered. There's literally nothing that will ever put me back together. And then one day, my husband and I, we began to talk even though we weren't supposed to be. We realized that we wanted to be reconciled and we wanted to be restored. But there was a huge, what seemed to be insurmountable obstacle in front of us. The court system had all of this within its realm. We pleaded for mercy. We pleaded for a second chance. By May of that year, we were given that second chance. We were able to move back in together and start to rebuild our lives. As we started to rebuild our lives, I realized that the Lord had changed my heart and he had changed my perspective. Through that really long, dark, hard valley that I had gone through, and that sweetness of walking with the Lord through that intense pain, I realized that those broken places had changed my perspective. And with that changed perspective, I realized that indeed there were blessings that came from brokenness. The devastation that I went through had a purpose. So I don't know what you're going through today. And I can't tell you I've never had another broken place in my life. But I can tell you that just like in Japan, when they put together pottery that's broken and they fill the cracks with gold and make it look even more beautiful than it started off with, that's what happened to me. Know that your story has a purpose. You are seen and heard by the one who weaves all circumstances together in your life for a purpose. And he weaves that tapestry together so that you can look back and call it beautiful. Perhaps, like in my case, things that were devastating and were hard can now be called beautiful, something I like to call devastatingly beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. I would like to pause for a minute in case you want to give a feedback to Sheila. Timer, can you flag a card after 1 minute? Thank you, Jinder. It's time for our speaker number 2. Our speaker number 2 is Gayatri, and I can say one thing about Gayatri, that more you know about Gayatri, more you admire her. Before I invite Gayatri, let me invite her evaluator, Rupinder. Rupinder needs no introduction, hence I will not introduce him. Rather, I will directly call him to state her objectives. Rupinder, over to you.
Thank you for that no introduction, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Gayatri today is attempting the introduction to Toastmasters mentoring project. The purpose of this project is for the member to share some aspects of previous experience as a protege. Timer, please note that the time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. I wish all the best to the speaker and I hand it back to the Toastmaster of the day. Kapil, we did not hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So Gayatri, not a big deal. Not a big deal. Gayatri, over to you, Gayatri.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. My life has never been like a free-flowing water. There have always been hurdles. There has always been drama, action, and a lot of melodrama. And exactly that is what comes in picture when I talk about my mentoring and me being a prodigy. I was 17 when I worked in the Office of Times of India. I became a writer, and along with me, I had a few other colleagues as well. Naturally, I not being the pretty one, and all the others being pretty, hot, and tempting, they got all the attention. I would mostly get assignments when nobody else was available, or the assignments that nobody else wanted to do. Then this one person came in my life. His name, Santosh Sonawane. He used to be in the office, but nobody ever noticed him because he would just sit in his corner, do his own job. My father always said that I can talk to a stone and I can make a stone talk. So Santosh not talking to me, I took it as a personal offense. I would go and chat with him at least for 5 minutes. However short responses he may give me, I would keep on talking to him all the time. One fine day, I just came to the office. The environment was not really good. Actually, an assignment was given to all the pretty girls, They were supposed to complete it in 4 weeks. 3 weeks had passed, and they had not even completed 10%, to be very honest. It was a team of 3 girls. And the one who was mentoring them was taken at a task. He was questioned why the job was not done. And it was then that the environment had completely gone, let's say it was ruined. And finally, Santosh was given the task that the thing which was supposed to be done in 4 weeks, now Santosh, you have to do it in 1 week. Santosh being Santosh, he never said no to anything. And you give him anything and he would be like, not a big deal. Not a big deal. The only problem was that Santosh didn't really have his team of, we used to call those girls butterflies. He never had a team of butterflies. The only person who would go and talk to him was Noah, Gayatri. So for the first time, it was not Gayatri going to Santosh, but the moment I entered in, Santosh called my name. I was like, oh, I'm the lucky one. I went there. I thought that Santosh was going to share some interesting insights from the political journalism because he was a senior political journalist. So he said, no, nothing big. It's just that we have an assignment and do this. A lot of, I should have sensed then, but then again, I was not with Toastmasters then, so I didn't really know what was after that. We have to, Gayatri, write 25 articles along with interviews. So it's not a big deal. It's just an entire magazine that needs to be filled, and we have 1 week to do it. Santosh, it is a 1 month job. Huh? 1 month? Huh? You would need 1 month for this. I will do half of them. You do half of them. We'll get it done. Believe me, I was 19 years old. I had more interest in going out and having cold coffees and iced teas and maybe attract a little attention from men, but no. For the next entire week, he wanted me to completely concentrate on this project. Then I told him that, Santosh, I don't think it is possible. And he said, it's not a big deal. It will happen just like that. All you have to do is make a phone call, ask them 10 questions, jot down whatever they tell you, and all you have to do is type. It's not a big deal. The word he used for typing was, the adjective was dhapa dhap. Why dhapa dhap? Because he said, type it fast, you will have fun. I don't know how, I still can't explain you how. The project happened and it worked out really well. I got paid a really lot for that. And I also earned a reputation. Guess what that reputation was? That reputation was that when nothing else works, Gayatri will work. When nobody else can get the job done, Gayatri will get the job done. And that reputation stuck with me even after I moved to channels like Colors Marathi and Zee Marathi. And the final reputation was, if this thing can be done, Gayatri can do it. And if Gayatri is unable to get it done, then yeah, then probably it is impossible indeed. That is the kind of confidence Santosh built in me. That is the kind of confidence Santosh gave me. And over a period of time, I must say, I never managed to attract any boys in my life. I never managed to get any kind of preferential treatment for my good looks. But I always got a biased response for my ability to get things done. There was a time when people didn't bother if I was wearing a bathroom chappal to a Filmfare Awards after party at JW Marriott because they needed me there, because there were things that needed to be done, and that's where I was. So today, here, I sit in front of you, telling you that after Santosh, life is my biggest mentor. And while this life is mentoring me, I'm all geared up and saying not a big deal. Like, for instance, yesterday my marriage broke, and today I'm here delivering a speech and saying not a big deal. Life is indeed a great mentor. And now I look forward to my life ahead, thinking what else life has in store for me in terms of mentorship. Believe me, there are a lot of things I need to learn, and I'm looking forward to what life will throw at me. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Timor.
Thank you, Gayatri. What a speech. Thank you. We will pause for 30 seconds. I think 1 minute was too long. Arjinder, could you flag after 30 seconds? Please give your feedback.
I think 30 seconds are over. Yeah, great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Arjinder. It's time for our third speaker, Kshitij. But before I invite Kshitij, I would like to call upon his evaluator, Shivpriya. Shivpriya reminds me of favorite singer Kishore Kumar. Not because she has a beautiful voice, but Kishore Kumar was a natural singer. He was not a trained singer. And I feel that this public speaking comes naturally to Shivpriya. So Shivpriya, could you please state Kshitij's objectives?
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. A very good morning to everyone. Today, speaker number 3 would be presenting his project or his speech from Level 1, Project 2, Speech 1. From evaluation and feedback, the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to the second speech. In short, it is for him, the speaker, to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. All the very best, Kshitij. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Shivpriya. Let me see the title of. Okay, Kshitij, little star, Kshitij.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Grow up, Kshitij. You need to grow. My question is why? You need to grow up because when you will grow up, you will become rich. You will have Rolex in your hand and best car in your house. You will have the best beautiful girlfriend and you can fly anywhere in the world in holidays. You can fly anywhere in this world. Yes, yes. But why don't my parents fly? My grandparents on their holiday, where I can my grandparents. And you just told that we will have girlfriends. Don't have girlfriends. Yeah, some lady in which they talk, vulgar talks about them. I said, we have got girlfriends where we play with them, we fight with them, and we snatch their feet and eat it. But it is not gender specific. It is just a friend who is a girl. So We have got God. And you are rich. You mean to say I become rich? Yes, you will become very rich. But if adults are rich, why they give a money from the pocket to beggars and these people? And they don't even give money to their parents. Oh, okay, let me try once again. When you will become adult and grow up, you will have degrees. You will become intellectual. You will have a lot of knowledge. What? Knowledge? Yes. So we have knowledge to just humiliate and insult our elders, our parents, our teachers, and you said that they will have degree and they will know read to write. Yes, obviously, if you have a degree, you may read to write. Then why can't they read this written on here? They just go, there is clearly written something here. So you need to say that they will have everything, but nothing here, no gray matter. It's impossible to explain it. Okay, when you will grow, you will have lot of power. You can do anything in the world you want. Now, this is hilarious. You mean to say I have a lot of power? Yes, yes. You become a very, very strong man. I have a question. Like, what? My question is, if they are so powerful, then why can't they fight corruption? Why they know that these are the bad people, they still don't stand against them? Tell me and give me a reason. And if they are so powerful, so strong, why can't they lend their hand to weak and the person who cannot do their things? Why they kick their parent out from their home? Give me explanation. Can you explain these things? No. But, I have one thing that is each and every. What is that? That is, you will have friends. You have a lot of friends. Wherever in the world you go, you will have friends. You mean to say adults do have friends? Now, this is you are making exaggeration of everything. Friends don't have friends. Adults never have friends. They have vulture. They have wolf. And they snatch the blood and meat from their body. And you make friendship only for the degree, status, and the interest. You never make friends. You make friends only to show that these are my friends. We make friends. When we make friends, we are just seeing the smile and heart. We don't go for religion. We don't go for gender. We don't go for we just go for heart. So, my dear friends, adults never have got friends. And one more thing, purity and innocence is your deepest asset. Please preserve it. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Kshitij. I don't know, your voice was not clear. Probably you were speaking too far from your laptop, or it is because of your low bandwidth. But nevertheless, thank you for so much for your speech. I'll pause for 30 seconds. Arvind. Thank you, Jinder. Now coming back to the theme of the meeting today, let me share my screen again. A survey was few surveys or few tests were conducted to understand the importance of colors. So you see here that a test was conducted on 2 rooms. One particular room was painted as blue, and people who were there in that blue room, they felt that that particular room was too cold. And the peach room, that has a warm feeling, though the temperature of both the room was same. Next test was performed on couple of boxes. Workers in one factory, they felt that black boxes are too heavier. So what management did, they actually changed the color of the box to mint green, but they did not change the weight of the box, and workers were happy. They felt that it became lighter. And the third one was 2 salesmen were placed in 2 rooms. One was red and one was green, and there was no mechanism to time their stay. So person who stayed in the red room, he felt that he stayed longer than the person who stayed in the green room. So that's how color impacts. Now before, let me stop sharing. Now I would also like to mention here that next week meeting is going to be very exciting. We have a, let me share my screen again. Okay. Sorry, unable to share it. Okay, can you see the screen? Okay, so next week, meeting number 531 is going to be an exciting meeting again. You will have a free tour of Puerto Rico, or tour guide Elisa, who will be playing the role of T-Mod, or local guide Sheila, she will be playing a role of table topic master, and our travel advisor Anna, she will be playing the role of journal evaluator. So please do join us in our meeting. Now it's time to start our section number 2, which is table topics. So for that, I would hand over the stage to our table topic master, who is Ashok. Ashok, over to you.
Thank you, Kapil. Thanks a lot. Let me share my screen. Hope you are able to see my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
No, great. So as we are talking about colors, so in this table topic, starting slide, I try to accommodate as many colors I can accommodate, and hopefully you will be able to resemble few of them to your life. So as far as topics for the day are concerned, I try to take up topics which are really colorful. So the slides you will find really colorful, and the content is also very colorful. And when you are looking for these topics, try to find out different colors. It will be great if you can nominate yourself for the first table topic speaker. Anyone who would like to go as first? Because first topic I think is the most exciting one.
I nominate Anna.
Great. So Anna, are you set to go for first topic?
Absolutely.
Great. So Anna, here comes your topic. You choose your friends by their character and your socks by their color.
I have always grown up knowing that the colors of the rainbow were the most exciting colors to be staring at. Not only is it the promise of never having a flood in this world again, but knowing that it covers all extremes of, of for vast colors. But I have to say, as growing up as children, watching cartoons, going to school, I learned from a very young age that it was kosher to start wearing socks of different colors. Whether it was cerulean, whether it was green and yellow, you never wore the same colored socks, and none of my friends did the same thing. So I'd have to easily tell you that by any character or any friendship that I had as a child, we would often trade socks so that we could wear the craziest matches. And let me tell you, the colors never went well. And by the time it got to my mom doing our laundry, she was crazy with knowing which socks went with which pair. But I will definitely say, overall, based upon what color socks you wear or what friend character it is, you always want to make sure your socks are mismatched. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thanks a lot. So this remind me a joke. I don't know you all will laugh on that or not. Teacher found that a student is wearing different color socks, and he was really pissed off with that because that kid every day used to do the same. So teacher told him that today I will not wear this. You go home and change your socks because you are wearing two different color socks. So kid was so innocent. He said that I can go home and I can change my socks, but the problem is that another pair is also the same, that also has two different color socks. Okay, so by this, let's move to next table topic. Please nominate yourself for the next table topic.
Just a small clarification or a request to Ashok.
Yep.
Look, when the person starts speaking, can you unshare your screen, because I'm not able to share my screen for the slides. So
sure.
Thank you.
Correct.
So
I also sent a message. Yeah.
Please nominate yourself for the next topic.
Kshitij, Gunjan. Gunjan, do you want to try a topic?
Yes, Ashok, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, great. Gunjan want to go for, or Kshitij?
I can also.
Great. Okay, here comes the second topic. Kshitij, it's for you. Without black, no color has any depth. Without black, no color has any depth.
Black is supposed to be one of the best color in this world. Do you know why? I tell you. Black is the best color in this world because it has got all colors inside. And according to physics, black and white both are not colors. Black is having no reflection, white is having all reflection. So when black comes to anything, it absorbs everything. It is like a holy India, where you come from any part of the world, you come anything in the religion, you create any sense, it accepts it. So black is the color that is really, really important. And hello?
Yeah,
Hello,
Kshitij, we can hear you.
We
Yeah,
can
we can hear you.
Black is the color that is really, really important. And black represents the wholesome power. Black also represents something that could be done with a great power and energy. With that, I hand over the topic to the table topic.
Thank you, Kshitij. Thanks a lot. Gunjan, would you like to go for the next? Gunjan, would you like to go for the next table topic? Gunjan, you are on mute. We can't hear you.
We have Nimit, we can ask him.
Nimit, would you like to go for next topic?
Okay, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. Nimit, let me share my screen. I have led a pretty colorful life. I have led a pretty colorful life. Nimit.
Well, that's quite true, isn't it? Because to be honest, it's not only for me, but if we all reflect our journeys till date, it's all full of colors. It's just about remembering as to what colors we have lived and what colors we have filled in everyone's life. For example, the yellow color for our childhood and playful days when we used to be so bright and be shining like a sun and just go here and there haywire, do everything so with so much of enjoyment and without any stress. And then we have also lived the color of red, where we always have had our partners, loved ones, our family, to whom we have shown uh, that love, romance, and what do you say, care. Then we also have lived life of white and black, because white depicts positivity and black depicts the negativity, isn't it? So it's all about yin yang, positivity, negativity, which is all down there. And but everything is not white and black. We have gray all around. So yes, I'm pretty sure we all have had colors in this way. So yes, we have lived our life full of colors. And on the occasion of Holi, I request you all and I urge you all to live life to at utmost fullest and full of colors. Thank you, and back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Nimit. So Gunjan, are you there? Gunjan, would you like to speak?
Hello. Yeah, I am there.
No, great. So Gunjan, I am sharing my screen and coming to the next topic. Color outside the lines. Gunjan, topic for you is color outside the lines.
Yeah, so thank you for the topic. Color outside the lines. I think I can connect it to something like the things at, I'm sorry, just give me a second and let me just think. I think I can connect it to thing that is served on some other's plate, like thing the grass is greener always on the other side. So I think things which are away from us, or like which we don't have but others have, we think those things are good, and the stuffs which we have, like the circumstances or the life which we are living, is way lesser or way lighter than others' life. I mean, that's all I can connect. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Gunjan. Aditya, would you like to go for next?
Yes, please.
Great. So let me share my screen, Aditya. Listen to the colors of your dreams. Listen to the colors of your dreams, Aditya. Over to you.
I remember when I was in school, I used to dream of becoming a Formula One racer. My parents used to dream of me becoming an engineer or a chartered accountant or a doctor. That's how it usually works in Indian families here. If you're a boy, you become an engineer or a doctor. If you are a daughter, we plan either you become a doctor or a CA, or you finish your education and then we will marry you off to the other side of the family. And much was same in my family until I realized that we are a bunch of black sheeps in the family who are here to change the tradition and change the heritage that has been following in the family. For a lot of time, me and my siblings followed what our parents said. I too tried to pursue engineering, but much to their surprise, that did not succeed. A little later that we realized that we had been just following the paths that were laid down for us by somebody else, in this case, which are our family members. And in about early 20s, all of us had this sudden realization that we are not really listening to that inner child of ours that used to paint sometimes outside the boundaries. Sometimes we used to paint our own dreams on that little piece of paper, but we never really got to fulfill that. Cut to a few years later, we decided to quit all of that and started pursue our own passions and our own callings and our childhood dreams. Fast forward to now. Today, I am proud to announce that I'm following my passion as a learning and development consultant, a public speaker, and a trainer. My siblings are pursuing their passion of running a successful business. Another one of my siblings is completing her tenure or following her passion of working in a well-reputed MNC. With that, I would like to remind all of you to listen to the colors of your dreams, not of somebody else's dreams. With that, I hand it over back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Aditya. I think that was brilliant. I think that was, you summed up really well. So before we close, I have one last topic, and Rupinder.
We do not have time. We are really out of time. We are at least 5 minutes behind schedule.
Okay. So by this, I handed over back to Kapil. Kapil, over to you.
Thank you, Ashok, for the wonderful topics. These actually resonated with our theme. Thank you for these topics again. Sorry, I got distracted by a survey. Okay, so have you ever heard about any side effects of colors? There is a term called chromophobia. This is the fear of, or rather irrational fear of colors. I was introduced with this term 10 years back. One of my colleagues, he told me that he had chromophobia. And I asked, what is that? So he told me that during the medical examination of the organization, he came to know through a color blindness test that he had chromophobia. Now, while he was able to read all the numbers in the color book, he couldn't read one number on one particular page. And that particular page was I guess it was maroon or magenta. And he said that he was getting a feeling like the number in that particular page is an insect. He was just throwing it like, take it away from here, take it away from it. So this is called chromophobia, and it may have different version of like some people have dizziness, some people have increased heart rate. So though it's very rare, but yeah, this kind of syndrome do exist in this world, or does exist in this world. Now I would like to hand over the stage to our journal evaluator for the evaluation section. Shorendra sir, over to you for the evaluation part.
Thank you so much. You know, colors have been a passion for me. I have spent almost 21 years working for a paint company, both in the marketing as well as the sales side, as well as the technical side. And colors to us was always very, very important. Whether it was chromophobia or whether it was axophobia, which is people looking at excellent color derivatives from the same color, something which led to the color computer being used by all paint companies now for marketing their products, where you have almost about 50,000 different variations of the same 7 colors of the rainbow. Today, we will talk about some of the very powerful things that we spoke in our entire meeting today. But before I get into the details of all this, let us call on our first evaluator, which is Aditya Gupta, who was evaluating Sheila McCarthy's speech. Can I request Aditya to come forward and give his evaluation, please?
Thank you so much, Sir General Evaluator. Toastmaster Sheila, you reminded me of a speech I was listening of Morgan Freeman last night. He shared that if somebody asks God for patience, do you think he gives them patience or he gives them the opportunities to learn patience? If somebody asks God for courage, do you think they give them courage or he gives them the opportunity to learn courage? And your speech was no different from the context which a lot of the meaning from the context of which a lot of was derived from Morgan Freeman, and I was completely reminded of all of that. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It was an inspiring piece. I loved a lot of things about it. To start with a few, it was a beautifully crafted story with a slightly oxymoronic title, Devastatingly Beautiful, which you very well justified with your speech. Your speech also had a range of colors, much resonating to the theme of our today's meeting, where you had ups and downs and you took the audience through a roller coaster ride throughout your speech. Having said that, like any other story, there are also some ways to make it better, and that would be the recommendations. I have a few recommendations on the delivery and the content side. In terms of the delivery, if next time when you deliver, if you could have your elbows slightly open and not attached to your body, that would give the audience a feel of a more open body language. So if you could, I would also challenge you to try and incorporate open body language in your upcoming speeches. Also, while I understand you were trying to be visible till your torso level, so you had a visible distance from the laptop. However, having that distance made the audience not able to see the facial expressions, and I was trying to figure out the emotions through your facial expressions, but I could not spot that. So maybe trying, given the virtual frame, maybe trying moving in and out of the frame so that the audience can also see your facial expressions. Also, moving to the content part of it, your story had a lot of strong suspense points, which I think could have been worked upon or capitalized upon to make your story even more engaging. For example, you mentioned a lot of things about you getting the divorce, arrested, restraining order. You started the story with people's opinion was different, then you divided, then it comes through, then how everything comes back together in a story through the book that you were reading and the lessons you took out of it. If you can weave a little bit of context or maybe take a little bit of pauses before sharing that suspense points, that would make your story even better. Towards the end, love your analogy with the Japanese pottery, that broken pieces, when come together beautifully, they turn out to be even more beautiful than they were from the first part. And also love the fact that you made your mess, your message for the rest of the world. Thank you so much for sharing that inspiring bit from your life. Looking forward to many more speeches. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. That was brilliant. Now, can I call on distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh to evaluate the speech given by Gayatri Deshmukh. Over to you, Rupinder.
I find opening with a fact one of the most difficult forms of opening. You really have to make that kind of an opening engaging and effective. Today, Gayatri accomplished that. Stellar opening, which had the audience hanging on to each and every word. There were moments of humor. For example, Gayatri, you can make a stone talk. And I like the reference of the cohorts as butterflies. I also like the expressions that you were bringing to your story. They complemented your story very well, and we were engaged throughout. I wish I could have those kinds of impression and those kinds of expressions. The story that you told about you being successful in the project where the others were failing brought about a sense of achievement. It was almost as if we knew that you were going to win, but still that anticipation was at a very high level. Now, in a speech that was so good, how can we improve it better? I do not have recommendations per se. I have suggestions which, if you incorporate, hopefully will take the speech to another level. For a start, I believe that your mentor, Santosh, and I must say that he is just as fortunate as you are, perhaps he needed a little bit more personification. His character was building throughout the story, and when I was listening, I was trying to build his character as well as listen to your story. And in effect, I was trying to process two things at one time. So perhaps building his character first and then bringing out the stories would have set the context much better. Second thing relates to your stage. When you're using the stage for conversation, so when you were talking to Santosh, you were at one place only, and when you were talking like yourself, you were at the same place. Maybe Santosh, Gayatri, Gayatri, Santosh probably would have helped. Last thing is a suggestion. If the other cohorts were called butterflies, you could call yourself a caterpillar, because that gives way to you finding your wings through that project. And there are a couple of quotes on butterflies that you could use. For example, only when the caterpillar thought that the world was over, it blossomed into a butterfly. Or maybe the butterfly never gets to look at its wings, and yet it is so beautiful because it never gets to look at a mirror. So possibly you could use those. But all in all, great story and a great tribute to your mentor. Wonderful metaphor of life as a mentor. And before I close, let me say this: the guy who lost you is actually a loser. If he could listen to the speech, he would have regretted in the choices that he made. Work on personification. Think of the caterpillar story. Use the stage. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Gayatri. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Rupinder. Now, may I go to distinguished Toastmaster Shipriya Gauri to evaluate our guest speaker, Kshitij Sahai. Over to you, Shipriya.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. The speaker opened with the context setting that he is going to be talking about children. The speaker also decided to keep two things in line with the context as well as with the purpose of the speech. Number one is the title, and number two is his attire. I haven't seen many people who tried this well to wear appropriate attire for the speech itself. So kudos on that. Number three, I also like the way that the speaker had a conversation with the adult as well as the child to bring the contrast in terms of perspectives, in terms of how they take different aspects of life. And he also brought in that what is that it went along the way as we become an adult. So I really felt that all the contrasting conversations really made sense in terms of why do you feel that the innocence of a child is lost and why it is even more important for you to preserve it. What I also like about the speaker that he stood and gave the speech, which gave a much more higher impact. At the same time, it allowed him to bifurcate the stage to two different sides, the adult side as well as the child side. If I had to give some recommendations to the speaker, they would be as follows, and it is completely my perspective. The speaker has the option of choosing whatever is appropriate to him and incorporate in the following speeches. Point number one, somewhere I felt that the overall or the main tool of the entire speech was dialogue. Now, what happens when your entire speech is dependent upon one tool? Number one, in a dialogue, you actually look at the characters, you look at the characters look at each other. Some way it restricts the eye contact with the audience. That means you are putting a show, but you're not really connecting to the audience. The speaker could have used a mix of narration as well as reflection along with the dialogue so that it creates a much better impact. Number two, somewhere I felt that the speaker's camera position could have been better because every time he came close to the stage, his part of the head was not visible. And also, it looked as if the speaker had to look down at the camera, which kind of puts the speaker into a better position, which means that he would not be able to connect to the audience very well. So somewhere I felt the speaker had some areas of improvement. Also, to add with the dialogue, when the speaker is looking at each other's character, the voice often is not clearly audible to the audience. So maybe the speaker could have used an earphone or any other Bluetooth device so that the audience is able to listen to him clearly. And number three, somewhere I felt that the speaker quickly jumped to the conclusion. The speech had a lot of scope and it had a profound message and it had a lot of scope to build to the entire purpose or the conclusion. The speaker could have done it. But overall, what I really loved about the speech is the contrast. It's the expressions you bring on stage. It's the voice modulation you were able to bring in with the characters. And the speaker has a natural ability to give an entertaining as well as engaging speech on stage. I look forward to more speeches. All the very best.
Thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Shipriya Gauri. That was a brilliant evaluation. Now, may I call on the tag team to help me in knowing how we have performed, the speakers and others. So may I first call on Toastmaster Sumit Judeja to give us his R counter report.
I'll present my screen. So is my screen visible to all?
Yeah.
So starting with Sergeant and Arm and Evaluator 2, Rupinder Singh, I could notice very short and one repeat words where Rupinder was trying to correct himself. So it was very, very short. I wanted to figure out that if I can figure out something in Rupender's speech and Shran sir's speech, but I could do that today. Shran sir, you had one and that is also very, very short. That's the thing that we all should learn, that even if we are looking for some next words, we are aware about ourselves, and that's where we can probably cut on our R's and ums. Kapil, I have noticed 5 and one other crutch word. It's a remarkable improvement from your last speeches that we can see today. Aditya, I figured out that in your evaluation, there were two and otherwise in your table topic, you did not use any filler words, and that's something great. Sheila, you had a very great speech with a deep learning and no filler words. That's something very encouraging. Speaker number 2, Gayatri, there were many intentional and one other filler word. I don't know what was that, but there were many intentional and that I can figure out from your speech. And Shivpriya, Evaluator 3, there were two and but that was again very, very short. Ashok, you have done a very good job in terms of not using R and Alisa, again, great. Sumit, I could not count myself how many times I have used I and ums. Abjinder, you have used 3 R's and 2 so. And in table topics, Anna did not use any of these filler words and Aditya did not use any of the filler words. And others numbers are on the screen. In total, we have used 39 filler words and R's and ums. And it's a improvement from our last meeting, I can say. Thank you. Over to you, Sharin sir.
Sumit, you can add another 7 for yourself as us.
So little bit need to improve on. Yeah, thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much, Sumit. And now may I call on our grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Alicia Snyder. Alicia, over to you.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. I would like to congratulate our guest, Anna Whistler, for using the word of the day today. So congratulations, Anna. You were the one and only person who was able to incorporate it into your table topic. I'd also like to go over some of the observations I have from today's meeting on beautiful usage of grammar. Kapil, I loved your use, tools of the trade and chromophobia. We learned some new words there today with you and a lot about colors. Sheila, you had some interesting vocabulary in your speech. Boiling point, devastating, understatement of the year, of the decade. And here we had a metaphor. My heart was broken. The difference between a metaphor and a simile is that a metaphor says this object equals this. My heart was broken. Whereas a simile would say, it was like my heart was broken. In this case, we are looking at a metaphor. Heart-wrenching anguish, blessings from brokenness. I can't be put back together. Gayatri, pretty, hot, tempting. I love that use of 3 there. Team of butterflies, that would also qualify as a metaphor. And I loved your phrase, when nothing else works, Gayatri works. I'm going to keep that in mind for next time. Definitely come along to Puerto Rico and use yours here too. Got a biased response, you can make a stone talk. I'd have to check this one. I'm not sure if it's a metaphor. I will look that up for next time. Anna, kosher to wear the color of the day is a fantastic way of describing that. Chitits, black is like a pool in India. Okay, this would be a simile because it says it is like a pool. And then Nimit, shining like a sun. Again, a simile. And I liked how you used white depicts positivity, black depicts negativity. And Aditya, you also used a metaphor, paint our dreams on paper. And I also liked how you said, listen to the colors of your dreams, and oxymoronic title. Fantastic job, everybody. I love your use of wonderful vocabulary in today's meeting. A few points of improvement. The grass is greener always on the other side would be easier to say the grass is always greener on the other side. The adverb comes before the adjective. Much was same in my family. It would be easier to say it was similar in my family. Colors to us were very important is better expressed. Colors were very important to us. How can we improve it better? How can we improve it, or how can we make it better? And finally, much more higher impact is best described as much higher impact, or you can say more impact. But overall, wonderful use of vocabulary. We continue to learn and grow together. This has been a fantastic meeting. And now I would like to hand it back over to our general evaluator. Over to you, Surinder.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I was muted. Now, the next is from the tag team. We have the timer of the day, which is being handled by Avjinder. Toastmaster Avjinder, please take it away from here.
Thank you, Surinder. So let me start with the speaker sections. Sheila McIntyre, you finished your speech in 8 minutes, 23 seconds. So that's a little overboard. With the grace period of 7 minutes, 30 seconds, it's almost a minute more than the timing allotted. Gayatri, you finished your speech in 7 minutes and 2 seconds, so that qualifies. Chitis, you finished your speech in 6 minutes and 1 second. So that's green light for you. Anna, your table topic, you finished in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Though there was some technical issue, but you finished in time, so that's great. Chitis, you finished your table topic speech in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Nimit, you finished in 2 minutes, 11 seconds, so that qualifies. Gunjan finished in 1 minute, that's great. Aditya, you finished your table topics in 2 minutes and 20 seconds, so that qualifies. In terms of evaluations, Aditya, you finished your evaluation in 3 minutes and 22 seconds, so that qualifies. Rupinder, you did it in 3 minutes and 28 seconds, so that also qualifies within the grace period. And Shivpriya finished exactly in 3 minutes and 30 seconds, so that also qualifies. That's it from my side. Over to you, sorry.
Thank you. Now, let me just do a small. Sorry.
I am launching the polls for the best evaluator and the best auxiliary. You please continue. You continue with the rest of the meeting.
Sure. Thank you. So, as I was saying, that I have about 21 years of color background, but never in my shade cards or in those 10,000 different colors and much more than that, I have been able to find one single color which is like the word of the day. Believe me, it came as a bolt from the blue because, yes, it came from the blue. And I loved that new thing. So it gets added, and I am going to share it with my friends who would love to add this into the color cards because that will be new in the paint industry. Besides, today, I think the choice of the topic just after the Festival of Colors in India is something which was really unique, and I must thank the Table Topic Master for being able to give us such a brilliant topic for today's theme. I love the introduction that you gave, Kapil, and how the colors affect our moods and ourselves. Like the quiz, it was really well done and it was a very good choice. I must also add here, in the paint industry, there is a group of people who travel all over the world, and they are the lucky people, as we call them, because they go to different festivals of colors across the world and pick up the color of the particular season. And as you know, that internationally they have the autumn and the winters collections and the summer collections and the spring collections, which are shown by the different beauticians and other people, and they pick up colors from there, which is used for not only the different colors for your rooms, but also for the cars and scooters and the various electronic items that you use on a day-to-day basis. These colors are chosen from there. And such color presentations are made to the various companies, and they choose colors for the next 6 months or next 1 year based on that. And therefore, I think, Kapil, you did a great job. Ashok, oh my God, what a beautiful set of slides that you picked up. A little tough for people, but I think Anna, Kshitij, Nimit, Gunjan, and Aditya, you handled the topic very well. And congratulations to you and kudos to all of you for having taken those tough topics and being able to relate it to our day-to-day life. Now, let me come to the evaluations. Aditya, I thought it was a great evaluation that you did for Sheila. I personally have only one input to give you, and that is when you've said and given so many commendations, don't put a sandwich in between by saying but or however. This was something which I had not expected, but it did come over, and therefore it can negate in the mind of the speaker or person you are evaluating that you've given them a negative feedback. So just request you to look at this particular aspect. It happens very often to a lot of people, but very nice. Rupinder, I thought your suggestion of personification of Santosh that you had suggested to Gayatri was a very, very valid point. And I too felt that that was the area which needed to be done. So very well picked up. Shipriya, I wish you had your video on, because otherwise the beautiful evaluation that you did actually lost steam because we could not see your expressions, which are also very important for all of us to see how you are evaluating. I also have another basic point is when we make recommendations, we must understand that as evaluators, can we ourselves do those things that are being suggested in the recommendation? A case in point is one of the speakers had overshot the time. And then in the evaluation, we were asking the person to add more information, which would have an impact on the time. And instead of that, if we had said that we could reduce it in some places so that everything can be accommodated, would be one of the suggestions that I would make to all the evaluators who should understand if they themselves are going to do that speech, how will they be helping them? And there must be practical suggestions that I would like to make to people. The other point is, and this is for Kshitij particularly, and Shipriya did mention it, Kshitij, please get your audio system worked out, because I'm sure that most of us could not really enjoy your speech because we were not very clearly understanding what is it that you're saying, because the audio was not capturing what you were saying. Overall, brilliant meeting, started right on time, and as usual, it's an amazing, amazing day that we have. And thank you, each and every one of you, for having joined us. And a special thank goes to Alyssa for giving me a new color name, which I can share and tell my friends that I know about this color. Thank you very much. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Kapil
Thank you,
Kakkar.
Sharindra sir, for the detailed evaluation. We are almost on the top of the hours. Let me quickly share my screen. This is my last slide, color psychology. And this, I guess many of you are aware about this. So green color represents positivity, acceptance, optimism. Red color represents energy, anger, rage. And blue color represents trust, recovery, loyalty. In one of the trainings that we had in our organization, we were told that particular trainer represented a slide, something similar to this. And he told us that if, depending upon the audience, we may want to use the background. So in case we want to present a slide to school children, we may want to use a background like red, which is quite energetic and all. If you are representing something which is very creative, you like if you are presenting something to a media industry or something to creative people, you may want to use green background. And in corporates, where you find trust and loyalty, blue is the background that you can opt for. So with that, I would like to hand over the stage back to our presiding officer, Shorendra Bhaumik. Shorendra Bhaumik, over to you.
Thank you so much. And can I now just request all of you to be able to give us your feedback, especially my guests here. And may I start with Toastmaster Kshitij Sahai, who comes in all the way from Patna, my hometown, and request him to give his feedback about the meeting today. Kshitij, are you there? You're mute, I guess, Kshitij. Yeah, I think he's just moved out a bit. So may I now call on our favorite Aditya Gupta to give his feedback about our meeting today.
Thank you so much, Surendra sir. Loved today's meeting, the theme, the speeches, the evaluations, and the overall general evaluation given by you. Especially loved the theme of the meeting picked today and Toastmaster Kapil's take on it. Had a lot of insights about what different colors mean about different situations and people. Looking forward to attending many more meetings of BlueQuest as a guest.
Thank you, Aditya. We keep hoping that you'll come us and educate us on how to go about it. And now, can I request Gunjan to please give us her input on today's meeting?
Yeah, so this was my first meeting and I really enjoyed it, though I couldn't collect words to elaborate my table topic, but I would really like to join more such meetings. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gunjan.
We've all been there.
Thank you. And now can I request Toastmaster Nimit Mittal to please give us his views on today's meeting. Nimit? Nimit, you're on mute.
Yeah, hello. Sorry, there was some background noise. That's the reason I was just refraining from going on to speak. But yes, thank you for having me today. It's always very enjoyable to be part of the BlueQuest meetings. It's so much to learn here, right in the morning here in India. So it's always a pleasure to be here. And today specifically, I really liked the way the meeting progressed, right? And there's always a newness into that, especially the theme of the day, which attracted me primarily. And then, of course, what a professional evaluation section conducted by you and fellow tag players. So all in all, a lot of learning I'm taking back here. So thank you for having me. Looking forward to attend more and more sessions of BlueQuest in future.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And can I now request anyone? Actually, you would be knowing that we have already decided on some of the positions for next week's meeting. And I will hand over the stage to TMOD to take over from here and settle for the next week's agenda so that we know who would be the different role players. Over to you.
All
We
right,
have the
sir.
certificates ready. I have
Yeah,
asked you a
we'll-
question, Sharinder, if you could respond to that.
yeah, yeah. The blue sky address.
You said that you were not getting emails. You gave a new email address last week.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't get it.
So
I didn't get anything.
Can you just send that email address again?
I'll send it. I'll send it to you personally.
Yeah, sure. We are ready with the certificates if you want me to roll out the certificate.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just hoping that while you're ready, is it? So you go ahead.
Okay,
Please.
cool. So this is again our automated certificate generator. While the polls were going on, I was busy generating certificates. And that should give you an idea of what it is like. You're a tech master, you're generating certificates, you're conducting polls, and then you've got an evaluation to do, sometimes a speech and sometimes the Toastmaster of the day. But thank you very much for being so incredibly supportive. Shipriya today supported with the tech master role. Couldn't have asked for a better tech master. So let's start with the top 3 table topics speakers. And I am happy to tell you that all top 3 table topic speakers were guests. Our first, and the person coming in at number 3 is Kshitij Sahai. Many congratulations, Kshitij. The person who's coming in at number 2 is from United States, more specifically Texas. Many congratulations, Anna Whistler. And the winner did not give me any trouble because he was the winner last week also. I did not have to make a single change. That's it. Aditya Gupta. Many congratulations. When it comes to the best speech evaluator, once again, all I had to do was drag a row down because Aditya Gupta takes it again. So many congratulations, Aditya. When it comes to the best auxiliary role player, do you even really need to ask? With a word of the day that I still cannot pronounce. Many congratulations, Alisa Schneider. And to the best role player for his impeccable general evaluation today. Many congratulations, Shaurendra Bhaumik. And this is why I was so insistent on your email address. As for the best speaker today, she hasn't spoken in a long while, but when she finally came up to the stage to speak, boy, did she create an impact. Once again, coming back with a bang, Gayatri Deshmukh. Many congratulations. And that's it from my side. I will stop the share. Shaurendra, once I receive your email address, I will share the certificates. For now, I have in the group, please share what role you want to play. If there is any specific role that anyone wants to play, if you're not in the group, just let us know and we will try our level best to accommodate. Before I close, Gunjan, to your point that you did not find words, well, even the most experienced of us were not able to find words. In fact, there is a story that I like to tell. There was a person who spoke for only 12 seconds when called on to do table topics. And guess what? In 2015 became the world champion of public speaking, Mohammad Khatani. You spoke for more than 12 seconds, so you've got a long way to go. All the best. Back to you, Sharon. Sir, it works when you're unmuted.
So, guys, do we have, what are the positions that we still have to fill up, sir?
Okay. Kapil, it is there on the chat. Can you pull it up? I'm just sending out the certificates. So just give me like
one speaker. We have 2 speaker slot already filled in by Ashok and Khushbu. So 1 speaker slot is available and 3 evaluation slots are available plus the tag roles.
I can have an evaluation. I can have an evaluation.
Yeah, you already gave your name for evaluation.
Yeah,
so
I
it
did.
was already there.
I can be a counter.
Okay. I will take on an evaluation. In fact, I think I will take on evaluation in every meeting because I have my evaluation speech contest coming up at the district level. So this will be a very good practice round.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are still recording.
Oh, thank you for reminding.